President Trump was asked about the case today, called it a horrible thing and heartbreaking, adding that he hopes investors will get answers and get them very quickly.
Some of the largest outbreaks in some parts of the nation have occurred behind bars in our nation's prisons.
Yeah, Michigan, Florida, Mississippi, and even California have reported large outbreaks behind bars, and now Maryland is reporting more than 290 cases.
Joining us tonight is the Prince George's County State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Aisha, how is Maryland, the state of Maryland, dealing with this surge in COVID-19 cases?
Well, I think that we're dealing with it actually jurisdiction by jurisdiction. Our governor did more recently decide that he was going to release certain inmates who had a short term left on their state sentences from our state prisons, because there has been COVID present at our prisons. But also at our local county jails, we've seen COVID cases at our local county jail. So Prince George's County was the very first county under my leadership to proactively release inmates at our local county jail. So far, we've released we've reduced our inmate population by close to 200 inmates. And we've also recommended release for nearly 800 individuals, those who may have been housed in our jail and those who were arrested and were facing commitment to our jail, but we believe that they could be safely placed in our community to await their trial dates.
So how do you protect inmates and staff in such a confined environment?
Well, our local county jail is run by our county Department of Corrections. They are providing PPE to inmates. In addition to that, we're doing our part by reducing the inmate population. So when you're able to reduce the inmate population, you're able to better socially distance inmates. For instance, for our female population within our jail, we've been able to reduce the number of women in our jail so much so that each female inmate who's currently housed in the jail has their own cell. For our male inmates, many of them have their own cells. Some are still doubled up, but we're doing our best to reduce the numbers. But again, we have a responsibility to our victims. We also have a responsibility to our community not to release people who we believe would be a danger to our community. So, it's important that we take that into consideration as well. So we think that we're down to a number where we're comfortable in saying that those who are in jail present a risk to the public. Those who don't present an immediate risk to the public have been released for the most part.
And with the releasing of those people, and I guess you've kind of explained it, but if you can give us some further detail, what is the process like to decide who stays and who goes? So
the first step, when an individual is arrested, they are processed and given a hearing before a commissioner. That commissioner at that point can release the individual, or they can commit them overnight until they're able to see a judge the following day. So my office is now participating in those hearings so that we can make recommendations to release those individuals who were arrested but don't pose a threat, so that they are not unnecessarily confined, even if it's for several hours. And then we also participate in what's called a bond review hearing, and that bond review hearing is before a judge, and we make recommendations there. We have utilized what's called pretrial services, which is a entity that is under our Department of Corrections that manages individuals who are defendants before they have their trial. And so for those individuals who we believe can be safely placed in the community, sometimes we ask that they be on ankle monitor or that they have weekly check-ins with the jail and mainly right now they're doing that by phone or by, some type of electronic means, just so that we can ensure that they understand their responsibility to show up for their trial. But that is run by pretrial services, and that gives us the ability to continue to monitor those individuals without having them placed in our county jail.
So where can people go for help?
Sure. When you say help, are you talking about victims, or are you talking about
Victims.
family?
Mm-hmm.
Victims of crime. I mean, we are still asking for victims of crime to call 911 if they are in immediate need of assistance. We also have our victim witness unit that operates 24/7, where people can contact us if they need assistance, especially housing assistance. One of the things that we've recognized since this since this pandemic has taken place, is that there has been an increase in the number of domestic violence protective order petitions filed by primarily women in our community who are victims of domestic violence. We want them to know that we are there for them. We have partners in our community that can provide them with shelter, and it doesn't have to be in a shelter facility, but we have apartment building owners who are partners with our office who can provide a safe place for them to stay. We don't want anyone to feel like they've got to be in a violent situation. Yes, there's a stay-at-home order that has been issued, but we don't want you to stay in a home that's unsafe. And so if you contact our office or if you call 911, we can connect you to those appropriate services. So if you live in Prince George's County, 211 is a number that you can call. It's a non-emergency number, and you can get connected to our office or the Family Justice Center. Both of us can assist you with finding housing or shelter if you need it. But our government is open for our victims. There is no reason why anyone should stay in a violent situation, and we implore you to come forward and to seek justice, because we are right there with you.
All right, she is Aisha Braveboy, and she is at Prince George's County, the state's attorney there, a proud graduate of Howard University, from what we understand, and we thank you so much for joining us and for your insights.
Thank you. I just celebrated my 20-year anniversary from Howard University School of Law. Go Bison.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Thank
Congratulations.
you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night.